Yeah, you don't want to waste the scotch though.
And we're live, everybody. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We have multiple guests on today. My boy Jay Naugy, hot, delicious paperboy hat. We got Zach Morris. Please.
It's a different person, different name, but the same voice every time I'm on here. I don't know. It's kind of strange.
No, it is weird.
Who was I last time? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember, man.
Maybe I'll be Bruce Wayne next time or some shit.
Is Zach Morris actually like a movie star or something?
Zach Morris was a character in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, man.
I guess I should watch the movie.
Oh, you know what I was going to say? You want to know how I know that Tesla's in a bubble? Is because people are getting emotional when I tell them that they're in a bubble. The dude just attacking me, like telling me and saying like, oh, this guy must be a loser in his mom's basement who shorted the stock. And I'm like, dude, I've never shorted a stock in my entire life, nor do I ever plan on doing it. It's impossible to predict when a stock's gonna go down.
Like everybody thinks that. Oh God, that's loud.
What?
That feedback?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, I didn't. Hello.
Yeah. All right, I think it stopped. I already lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Stuff.
People are getting emotional about Tesla. They're getting emotional when you tell them it's a bubble.
Yeah, so everybody thinks that if you think Tesla's in a bubble, then you must be a short seller or you must be so jealous of missing all the gains. That is the automatic thought that they jump, or the conclusion they jump to, which is stupid. Like, yeah, most people don't short stock. And I actually own Tesla in my freaking index fund, so I'm not really missing that much. But they don't understand.
Well, even you and I have both talked. We're like, we think it's a quality company. It's just so far overvalued for the share of the market that it's. That's what I talked about in my video. I'm like, you do realize that Tesla's losing market share in Europe. And then they come with, but China. And I'm like, do you really think that the Chinese government is going to let an American company dominate the market and do anything other than steal their proprietary tech?
Yeah, and like NIO, the China government actually bailed NIO out. They kept them from going bankrupt. So they have a vested interest in that company dominating it. I mean, if you're a protectionist country, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and so it's like the guy clearly that guy didn't watch my video. I'm like, what part of 1600 PE ratio did you not understand?
No, so he mentioned Amazon because Amazon at one time had a PE ratio over 1,000.
Okay, but it's impossible to predict which stocks are going to win in any market. When you go back and you look at Amazon, I wouldn't have bought Amazon at that time with current knowledge, yes. But if I was looking at Amazon when its PE ratio was 1,000, I'd look at you and be like, not interested, man. Rather put that money in an index fund. It's too big of a gamble for me.
So this is just another thing that when it comes to stocks,
what's going on?
Look at certain things. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Can you hear me right? Okay. No, but just like with Amazon had so much more potential. They could do so many more things. All right. Tesla has got one company. I mean, it right now. I mean, granted, Elon Musk could fucking think up like all these fucking awesome abstract ideas and actually try to put them to make them realities.
Hey,
but like he's gonna do it as a separate company. Yeah.
John, try to swear less.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
That's gonna. I'm probably not gonna be speaking that much then.
No, I mean just take it down like 50%.
No, but like what I'm getting at though is.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
What happened, dude?
What's going on?
I don't know this. As long as you can hear me, that's fine. Whatever. Go ahead.
But yeah, what I was saying though with Tesla, if Elon Musk is going to think up another idea, he's probably going to start another company. Like Tesla, how much variety they're really going to, much of a product they're really going to give to the public. Where Amazon just ate up everything. Amazon just became a platform where it provided all these different like capabilities. So that's the reason why I feel like when Amazon was like not inflating, but coming up, growing exponentially in growth like that, it was like, all right, it had a little bit more of a support than where Tesla is a little scary, because it's just like, all right, are they really going to make all their earnings? How many, like Tesla, everybody's buying their stock, but how many people are actually buying Teslas right now? You know, it's
Like,
it's
I think they sold like what 500,000 in the last quarter or something like that.
yeah, but the thing is, think about how many people are using Amazon every single day.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a big number, but I mean, the other car companies are probably selling 20 times as much per car company.
Toyota sells 11 million. I had to look that up, and you know, it's the dude bringing up Amazon. Like, you're bringing up Amazon after the fact that you know what it did. Amazon crashed by like 95% during the tech crash. Now, I don't know about you, but if I stock crashed by 95%,
2001?
something somewhere in that area, yeah, it crashed.
But Amazon wasn't Amazon then. Amazon was just selling books then. You know, like
I know. My point is, how many people, like, you can't, when it crashes 95%, you can't anticipate the moves that Jeff Bezos was going to make. So, I mean, there's another reason why I tell people, put a small amount of money in. You would have made a lot of money on Amazon just putting $1,000 in it and saying, I think this is going to be something one day. And if you lost 95% of it, you'd be like, well, I gambled. Let's see where it's going to go. I'm so far underwater. You know, you're not going to panic sell. Chris, what happened? Are you still there?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's wrong.
Sounds like it's our podcast tonight.
Look who hey guys, what's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
Chilling. How you doing?
Good, man. Good.
Hey,
who are these people?
I know, right?
Yeah. Who are these crazy? What happened to Chris? What happened to you?
He keeps going in and out, man.
What's going on?
It's our podcast now. I'm the captain now.
Kicked him out of his own podcast, dude. Dude, but yeah, that's the point. All these financial YouTubers that are, the aliens are starting the probe. Dude, all these financial YouTubers that are like, I'm putting a small percentage of my money in Bitcoin, and I'm just like, yeah, but you're gonna lose.
Oh, you finally started to do it. Oh, wow.
No, I'm not.
Proud of you, Jay. I'm proud.
I'm not.
Well, I had $50 in XRP, and then it went up, went down. I got even, bought $50 of Bitcoin. We're at like around 45 right now.
Dude, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem if people think, if they're like, you know, dude, I'm gonna speculate on it. You know what I mean? I've thought about buying it solely for speculation purposes. But I mean, I just think a reality is going to come about one day where they're like, okay, what is this backed by? I mean, yeah, the dollar is fiat currency, but it's backed by the United States and their guns. You know,
but it's not. I don't know. It's not a progressive way of thinking. You know, it's the matter of, it's just like the internet. When the internet came out, everybody was like, oh, what the fuck's that going to be good for? It's just people don't understand the application for it. And until more people start using it and more people start understanding it's a better formed way of use of currency than what exists today, then it will really start to adapt. And that's the reason why there's people projecting it to be you know, something that's going to be worth a lot of money.
The problem with it being like something that people actually start using and not just a commodity is until the price levels off and stabilizes. You know, you don't have...
But we're still in the infancy stages. No matter, even at $40,000, it's still the infancy stages. It's just one, like all right, this is the way I was looking at it. Like, already today, cash is pretty much ruled out. Nobody's using cash. Everybody's using credit card. You got Apple Pay. You got all these different types of wallets. You can have a wallet with Amazon. You can have a wallet with PayPal. Oh, you got Venmo.
Cash to buy guns.
Yeah, you got Apple Pay. You got all. Yeah, I don't know where you're getting yours from, but you know, But what I'm getting at is like we already ruled out like the physical form of currency. Like it's almost done. It's in the past, you know. So that opens up the door for this digital currency, and then it's more of a. The only thing that kind of has me a little bit out there, like, or skeptical, is the fact that there's all these different types of cryptocurrencies. If there's just one, like, oh, it's going to be a lot easier for everybody to adapt. But the one that's going to be doing the best is the one that most companies are going to start to accept, and more people, as not just companies, but individual people that are self-employed are going to accept. But
you gotta ask a question though. Do you think governments around the world are gonna allow you to do that? If you're in Bitcoin, right, and they're not collecting their tax money on that, they can't keep track of it, and ultimately that's what
they'll find a way, right? And but so right now, the U.S. government, correct me, I mean, I might be wrong in this, but I know with certain platforms, they won't allow you to buy on their platform if you're in certain states or if you're in certain countries, because the fact that the government can't tax you on it. So I'm pretty sure with Coinbase, they actually, you will actually get taxed on it. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's one.
I think that all depends on if you cash out.
Yeah, if you cash out,
they send you, that form at the end of the year.
Yeah, just like selling stock,
like a capital gain, exactly, like a capital gains.
So that's the thing. So it's not like the government's in the left out on all of this. They're already doing that type of stuff. Yes, there's decentralized markets too, but for most part, I think most people are using decentralized ones like Coinbase and
I think that's only if you cash out into cash. But that's the problem. If you're using Bitcoin to purchase and sell things, and just
Chris, sweet, you're back. What the hell happened?
Yeah, it's just trading your currency. Just like when you go over to Europe and you trade US dollars for euro, you're not getting taxed on whatever profit you're making. No, you're converting it and then you're spending it. So it's
my only problem is, and this is what I say, I might start speculating on crypto, but I tell people, I'm like, if I don't understand something, I tell you I don't understand it and I don't invest in it. I don't understand cryptocurrency. I mean, I understand the theory behind it, but I just really don't understand it.
Hey, listen, maybe there's going to be people
that's just ignorance on that. Maybe that's just my ignorance is preventing me from really understanding it because I just don't really have time to sit around and learn about it.
Listen, I'm no expert on it, but I probably know more than your average Joe. But yeah, like half the shit that I'm talking about right now, I may be incorrect when it comes to freaking centralized markets and decentralized markets or whatever. This is some shit that I've heard once or twice. It's not like I study it every day in and out. I read an article once. I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure that's what they said about this. But for the most part, I just know that it has the potential to be something fucking great. I already made some money off it. I made some decent money off it. And it's.
Wouldn't you say the technology would be or could potentially be something great, not the actual Bitcoin currency itself? Like, isn't it possible to lose everything?
Bitcoin to me, like, I don't think that's going to be the greatest fucking cryptocurrency. Bitcoin was just the ship that set sail, and everybody else is following them. They're just the leader right now.
The MySpace.
Yeah, it's like MySpace compared to like the Facebook. It's just like Philips TVs, when the flat screen came out, and then all of a sudden, freaking, all these other TVs came out. It's just it's the one that set the idea. What?
There was Betamax. You were cranking it to porn on Betamax, and then VHS
on the Spice Channel.
Oh, dude. Kids today don't know the struggle, man. Now you just go online and you crack it out to porn. I had to beat it through a squiggly line porn back in the day. That's
what are you talking about? You got the 5-minute sampler in the beginning, and then it turned into.
You get a like little view, and you're like trying to cock your head, hoping your parents don't come down while you're in the basement.
Oh my god!
All right, so back to Bitcoin. So if I wanted to learn more about Bitcoin, what would be the best resource for me to go to learn more about it?
The internet.
Where on the internet?
Literally, just Google Bitcoin. Honestly though, like shit, dude, like I
is
have an
there a
iPhone.
YouTuber that explains it all extremely well, or?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, like, there's literally unlimited resources right now. I'll tell you, when I first started reading about it, I was reading articles. Even just like Investopedia has some decent articles on it. Like, if you got an Apple iPhone, if you got what?
What about financial education? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was good, dude. Pay him $15,000 to explain Bitcoin to you.
Nah, he's gonna be asking $40,000. He wants to be able to buy one Bitcoin. But yeah, like honestly, I on my iPhone I have stocks, and I just have the Bitcoin US dollar conversion on that, and with that, whatever news comes through, I just read that. But
wouldn't
what,
John? Real quick, wouldn't you say though it's probably a smarter play to invest in the crypto mining companies, because that way you're not really exposed to you're not exposed to the loser, but you're making money off crypto anyways.
So this is what we were just talking about before we went live. I'll tell you, I made a better percentage of money, profit on the companies mining Bitcoin than Bitcoin itself.
Are these domestic companies or international companies? Like, where are they located?
There's some Canadian companies, but the ones here in America are the ones that I made the most money off. And I mean, like, I was buying one company back in July when it was at 89 cents a stock, and it was hitting $27 last week.
And are these actively traded? Like, can you buy?
Yep.
Like, are these registered with the SEC? Or are you just like?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, how are you doing that if these aren't publicly traded companies?
No, there's publicly traded companies.
Okay.
That's Marathon Patent Group. All right, I'll tell you, Marathon Patent Group. The ticker is MARA.
That does seem like the way to go, really. You know, you're not really.
It's like, do you know who got rich during the gold rush? The dude selling the shovels. That's who got rich.
Yeah. Oh, you're telling everybody to buy that shit right now? Yeah.
Buy shovels. That's my investment advice. Buy shovels and mine Bitcoin.
We are not experts. If you take our advice.
Look, I'll lay it out for everybody. 5% of your portfolio, you do whatever the crap you want, okay? You want to buy crap coin, you want to buy Litecoin, you want to buy whatever you want, that's fine. But the rest of it should be in broadly diversified index funds that track the world stock markets, okay? Everything else, you can do whatever you want. That is a disclaimer.
So I'll tell you where I fucked up.
You convinced me though. I'm gonna load up this year's IRA, the Roth. I'm gonna load it up with VT because I think there's a lot of validity to the claim that the U.S. stock market is overheated, and where really money's going to flow to is emerging markets. So I want exposure to them.
Dude, if you're a value investor of the American stock market, especially if you're buying large caps right now, no, horrible investment just based on PE ratios.
No, dude, I'm buying mid cap and international in my TSP.
Dude, I heard that a couple of months ago. I forget.
The Schiller PE ratio is like 24 right now. And if your PE ratio is like at that level, you can expect a 0 to 5% gain on your money. I think the United States is going to plateau, and I think we're in for like a lost decade, similar to after the tech crash. I don't know whether the market's going to crash, but anyway you look at it, it's just filled with irrational exuberance on everything.
Yeah, but the good thing is, if you own VT, like maybe you're wrong, and maybe the U.S. stock market does keep going up better than you expect, but maybe international does even better. So you're exposed to both. So you're not hedging all your bets on one market. You're just you're not even trying to play the guessing game. You're just buying the world. You know, maybe you can like tilt a little bit, like maybe have some real estate or small cap value or Bitcoin or whatever. But the majority of your portfolio, you own the world, and you let the world sort itself out. You don't even worry about it.
No, I agree. It's like my theory on my theory on why 95% of your money or 90%, 5 to 10% is not bad. But it's like I said before, well, how can just 1% in a stock make me rich? I go, okay, you throw a little bit of money at Apple in the late 90s and you just keep doing that. Your portfolio would have exploded in size. And it's like you didn't take a whole bunch of risk in that stock going under because you couldn't predict Apple was going to go through its bankruptcy and then come out and be the world's dominant technology company. It's impossible.
Except for Alibaba. They're going to rule the world.
They probably will. I'll probably behind. Jack Ma is getting re-educated because he dared to question the benevolent genius of the CCP.
Jack Ma is deep in hiding right now. Do you think he's in hiding right now, or do you think they got him?
They got him somewhere, bro.
You think so?
He's
I heard he might have got.
Go ahead.
Just Z has him like in a chair right now, just like straight up. What is that? Clockwork Orange?
Yeah, watching Communist Party propaganda with his eyes open.
Oh, and if the Chinese government is watching right now, we love you. You're amazing.
Yeah,
You're perfect. We will never criticize you. It's all in jest, okay?
I just want to go on record here that I welcome our new Chinese overlords.
Hey, it's
yeah.
No, I'm just saying it's if we're not careful, that might be if we don't buck up. Why do you
think I'm in the process of taking my American flags down as we speak and putting up pictures of Chi all around my house?
I don't think it's that bad, but I just think the title of
superpower.
Yeah, it's going in their direction,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
they have a lot of problems
with them. They're so corrupt and sketchy, like you can't really trust their companies. You can't really trust their financial statements. Like their currency, I don't think it's going to be the world's reserve currency because they'll screw you over in a second,
It won't be.
They're a good choice to be the world leader.
It won't be that, but they don't need to be the world leader. The biggest problem with them being the biggest economic leader from the standpoint of United States, I wouldn't care so much if America wasn't. I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't be as bummed out that America wasn't the number one economic power if the one to take the title from us was not a morally bankrupt country where if it was France, Britain, Canada. The problem with them becoming the world, it's a country that is stomped on human rights and stuff. And when other countries see that, when they see, hey, there's a country there that put down a 10-year, the long game, and they don't care about human rights and stuff. Maybe we can do the same thing. That's the problem when other countries get ideas.
People don't realize this. I explain it to them. I'm like, this is not a conspiracy theory. We have the photographic evidence that they are herding the Uyghurs into concentration camps and harvesting their organs. And it's not the fighters, there's just guys you're just not going to conquer. Those guys are like, we're not giving up our Muslim faith. And then what they do is they harvest their organs. And that because recently there was some propaganda that came out about a woman who received three different hearts. The Communist Party put that out. 3 different hearts. Where did they get the hearts from? You can't just magic up hearts. We're not at the point where we're 3D printing them, which don't let me forget where I want to tell you what my prediction is. We'll talk about Kathy Woods, but
we got a lot to talk about tonight.
but it's like you don't like all of these people running around America. America's got problems. We have a lot of things that we have to work on, but America has been overall the most benevolent empire that's ever existed. We've done horrible stuff. We've made horrible mistakes, Iraq and Afghanistan, and what's going on in Yemen. But if you think the world is going to be a better place where China is the predominant military power. All kidding aside, you're not really seeing the way things are.
I mean, I personally don't think they want to rule the world. I just think they want to control. I mean, they want to be the biggest economy, but I think they want to control Asia. You know, I don't think they have plans to conquer America and Europe. You know,
they're not going to.
I wouldn't say it's more economic influence. Like they're a huge economic influence in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, right now
Africans
it's really investing in infrastructure and kind of the things that we've done, you know, with some.
They're not doing
South
that,
America.
dude. They're going in and robbing the resources from Africa. There's already been,
like I said, it's kind of like what we did to South America.
Yeah,
but
look, no country around the world has it. No country really. What it is with like governments is. It's a bunch of murderers and thieves pointing at another bunch of murderers and thieves over which one is the worst one.
Yeah. They tell you it's a lot better now than it used to be when it comes to, you know, if you're saying like global empires and things like that, you know, the way, you know, business is done. But yeah.
And plus, like, everybody's invested in free trade. You know, even if China has a lot more economic influence in the future, nobody wants to fight a war because we're so interconnected. You know, they make crap, we buy it. We make crap for them, or, you know, services or whatever that they take from us. So at the end of the day,
that's the same argument they said right before World War One.
Yeah, but different.
No, but of course we're much more interconnected now.
Yeah, but Europe was like super packed and massive armies. You know, they all bordered each other. Like America and China are across an ocean. That's one inhibitor right there. And they're not able to invade and conquer each other. China can't conquer America. America can't conquer China.
That's very true.
It's like I look at people. I'm like, if you think like with the whole, look, China's going to conquer America. Good luck holding West Virginia, let alone Texas or Florida.
Dude, they would take Washington State in a heartbeat.
The whole state of Florida would eat bath salts. Just go at them.
I think the rest of the country, when they took Washington, D.C., would kind of just go, not really that mad about it.
Oh, you blew up Oregon. Oh, man. That's heartbreaking.
Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe you should take some of those policies you enacted back over to China.
I just finished reading this one book by Matthew Iglesias, I think his name is. His argument in
Iglesias?
Yeah, I think maybe a cousin of his. But his argument is that for us to keep up with China, we should start, I guess, putting incentives to raise our population and actually get up to 1 billion people as well.
You're telling me about this.
I read his book. And yeah, it kind of makes sense. So essentially he's saying that if you were to have 1 billion people, and this is in the lower 48, not including Alaska, if you were to get 1 billion people, the population up to 1 billion people in the United States, you'd only be as dense as France and still less dense than Germany. If we were to be as dense as England, not including Scotland, just actual England, it'd be 3.8 billion people. To get to, go ahead.
We would have to get rid of our pickup trucks then.
We could get rid of our pickup trucks. Also, he has arguments about what are the things he argues is that, you know, people say, oh, well, where are we going to fit all these people? Most of our cities in the Northeast, you know, all the colder cities, Chicago, Detroit, now even New York, Buffalo, Syracuse, all of those cities have been shrinking in population over the past 30 years. Boom, right there. That was actually one of the just the cities, the north in upstate New York alone. You know, so there is space for those people. It was a good book. Let me see if I can find the name of it. But and it had some good points. I'm not entirely convinced, but it is something to think about. 1 Billion Americans, that's the name of the book, by Matthew Yglesias.
Yeah, I mean, like, most people are not going to accept that. I mean, like, people aren't against, like, steady, slow immigration, gives people time to assimilate. But if you're starting to flood 10, 20 million people a year into the country, that's like too much for people to really absorb at once, And then on top of that, like, where are you going to get the people from? And are they going to be educated, able to speak English, all that stuff?
So some of it is immigration. Some of it is raising the amount of people you actually let in legally. A lot of it is social programs that would allow people. So one of the issues that is happening now compared to, decades ago is people, you ask people how many kids you want to have, and they'll tell you 3, maybe 3, 2, and they'll end up having 1 or 2, because by the time they're able to have kids, we've gone college, we have college debt, we're not financially stable, so we push back. So if they were able to put certain programs, some student loan relief is one of the things, better assistance for children instead of the tax credit that currently is in place now, that would help just incentivize people having more kids, and not even like a lot more kids. Like, instead of having 1 kid, have 2 kids, or 2, 3.
Well, you have 2 to maintain the population. But like my only disagreement with that is, like, you look at Europe and they have better health, they have better everything than us apparently, and they have lower birth rates than America. They actually have fewer children than
That's
America.
A good point. That's a good point, and they have more vacation time. I never thought about that, but you say it,
dude. One thing that I would do personally if I'm in charge is I just look at somebody. I'd be like, "Oh, you got a PhD and you want to start business? Get the fuck in here. Automatic citizenship."
PhD in what?
Not an actual real degree, not
gender studies.
Like, those guys, those like, I have a PhD in accounting. I want to come and teach at your school. Get in there, fucker. I don't care where you come from.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Mark, what was our accounting professor in USF? Oh, wait, you didn't do accounting. You did finance. No, there was
like Chinese guys.
He was Canadian, man. He was Canadian. The only reason why I knew is because he pronounced the process, and he said sorry every once in a while. But yeah, man, he had a PhD. He was the fucking shit.
He could be from Minnesota.
Yeah, dude.
It was a strong story. It wasn't a strong story. He didn't say what was it? Yeah. He didn't say yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what. Look, there's also an argument to be made, like, kidding about it, but it's like, listen, motherfucker, if you're that industrious that you're crossing a goddamn desert, risking your life like that, what do you want to do? I'm going to start a business. Get in there, fucker. We got way too many lazy soy boys in this country that aren't doing shit. You need that, as Joey Diaz says, that immigrant mentality. That's why when I was watching the elections, man, I was watching the Cubans down in Miami, and I was like, I wish I was Cuban, man. They look like they're having a good time no matter what they're doing. They're dancing, they're working. They don't like a communism. I'm throwing in with them.
Hey, nobody's stopping you from dancing, okay?
Oh, you don't want to see that.
Actually, yeah,
no,
right.
Jay,
looks like,
this is
like, are you having a stroke?
Fucking Elaine from Seinfeld over here.
That's what it looks like when I'm dancing. Stroke. But yeah, I mean,
I haven't seen the place, man. I want to stop you there. How's the new place? It looks nice and roomy. Looks a lot bigger than your 1-bedroom apartment.
Give us the tour.
I'm not walking around with
Show
my
the
laptop.
internet. Show the internet, dude. They want to see.
No, it's not bad. It's just a little 2-bedroom guy.
Yeah,
that's all I really want.
Right now. They want to see your house.
Yeah, one of them is probably my sister Abilio's wife.
I'll do a video. Dude, I'll do a video. I'll do a video at some point. But I will tell you this: that fucking ghost bed is the best thing ever, man. With that cooling gel, you get in there and it just cools you right down. Yeah. So if Ghostbed wants to sponsor me, just know that some point.
Maybe that's who our other listener is.
Goes bad. They're like, hey,
if you're listening, you can post a comment, and then I will put your comment on the screen. Then we can have an engaging conversation.
Yeah, please.
Don't be intimidated by us, okay? Please post.
Oh, okay. So what I wanted to tell you, Chris, is now that Kathy Woods is launching a space ETF, I have zero confidence in her in that company. And dude, like all these space stocks are taking off, and I'm like,
future.
Huh?
Space is the future, bro.
You do realize that no matter what, it's a fixed cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars to use the chemical propellant to launch you into space. Like no matter what you do, you just can't bring the price down with current technology. And
in the year 3000, we are going to be on Mars, okay? So you might as well buy an ETF right now. And maybe by 3000,
you've seen that episode of Futurama, right?
Wow, dude, there was a lot of episodes. Which one?
Oh my god, the one where he had like 2 cents in his bank account, and then it was worth like fucking.
The compound interest over how many years was it between him and getting out of that?
He was on ice for like 1,000 years.
But they conveniently forget that if you die, your money goes to the state or whatever. If you have you have nobody to give your money to, but somehow it was still there in the bank.
Dude, if you look at since she announced this space ETF, now all of these guys are all over YouTube talking about buying, like Virgin Galactic's price just went shooting up. And it's like, I'm looking at her, I'm like, at first I thought you were a genius, but now I just look at Kathy Woods, I'm like, I just don't think you understand the underlying technology, exactly like Tesla. Like,
I really want to see if Elon Musk actually holds true and does not bring SpaceX public until they go to Mars. Because once he goes public with that, his net worth is going to be just freaking ridiculous.
Well, I mean, Elon, the problem is, this is something that I just acknowledge. Like, if I'm talking to somebody that's way more clever than I am, I'm way more suspicious about what they're saying. Because I'm like, this fucker could easily trick me. So, like, I take a step back. I know that Elon Musk is way smarter than me. It's kind of like that special needs sixth grader talking to the advanced placement senior. It's like, I'm going to take a step back because I don't know if you're shoveling a bunch of crap down my throat.
That's like you guys talking to me right now, okay?
I was just about to say, that's how I feel every day of my life, man. Notice who the quiet one is on this podcast.
He's the smart one. That's how you know he's the smart one.
I'm just a good listener. That's all.
Well, I came into this podcast not knowing anything of like what we're going to discuss. I'm like, so when you guys started talking economics, I was like, okay, this try to stay in my lane as best as I could.
Business ethics,
bro. It's bro level finance, investing in economics and politics. It's bro level.
Politics I can mess with.
Yeah, there's no order to this podcast. We just kind of talk. I mean, if we ever get big one day, maybe we'll actually have like a little bit more structure. But right now, we're just shooting the crap.
Well, we don't want to upset our 2 viewers, so
Yeah, who don't want to post?
We want to.
Do you have any questions? Please ask them.
No, dude. This is my prediction. Genomics is the next bubble. I'm laying it out right here. You're going to hear about it in the news because like Aubrey de Grey, they're going to start announcing like major breakthroughs in anti-aging. So it's going to be regenerative medicine and genomics. That's going to be the next bubble. You're going to see all these YouTubers on there talking about how they got on.
People are going to pay for it with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I was just listening to on Science Friday the other day on NPR because that's what I do. They were this one technology that they're pretty much reviving dead cells. So it has nothing to do with, if you're familiar with telomeres, has nothing to do with telomeres. So they actually found this process, and it's crazy because at first they're actually like Benjamin buttoning these cells where they just, maybe I'm using the wrong reference, but it brought the cells down to stem cells. So they were actually getting too young, and they just found a process, and they were doing it to eyes. And they were applying it to eyes and pretty much renewing the eyes of mice. So it's crazy technology. When I was listening to it, I was like, wait.
If you want to listen,
it's no longer 3 blind mice.
Yeah, no more 3 blind mice.
If you want to think about that though, on how like not far away they are from people, that's 20 years on people, pretty much in the time frame of when that stuff really starts to hit. And I mean, Aubrey de Grey has said on Rogan several times, he's like, you're going to start hearing about anti-aging because we're making really radical breakthroughs by 2023, 2025. That's what I was basing you're going to see a bubble in that around that time. Because the technology is going to be there. And then it's going to hype because everybody expects everything. And when they realize you still got time before this is really going to turn profitable, that's when the crash.
So Jay, what companies right now would be looking into that are publicly traded?
CRISPR is one of them. CRISPR-Cas9.
Yeah, and what I thought that was a technology.
It is.
Well, you talked to me back in the day about CRISPR when we were still in college.
Yeah, CRISPR. It's basically I'm going to bro science this. Basically, what they can do is go in and snip a piece of DNA out, remove it, and then slide in a better functioning. So you could get rid of diabetes that way. The truly terrifying thing about that is eventually you'll be able to, in your own home, make plants, and there'll be a kid at home in his mom's basement that can whip up weaponized smallpox. That's the scary thing about that.
Dude, I could do that by not showering for a week.
Jay, is there any way that they could alter your DNA so that you have a better taste in shirts?
Wait,
dude, what? You could fuck off on this. This is an official Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt. He wore it in an episode.
You know, speaking of CRISPR, the guy who one of the people who founded the organization that worked on CRISPR just got appointed Eric Lander to the breaking news to the Office of Science and Technology and Policy cabinet level under Biden, which is
well, that's good news.
That's pretty neat.
I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah, but I mean, all these technologies are in the pipeline. Regenerative medicine. That's going to be. Look, Uncle Sam has a huge incentive in regenerative medicine, and that's us who served. You know, I mean, not only do they want to give you back if you're injured your quality of life, but then they don't have to pay you disability.
Yes, I was about to say that. I was thinking they'll cure you, and then they're not going to pay you anymore.
Because that's the thing.
Please don't cure me.
That's a joke. They don't make that part anymore for a 1987 Abilio. You know, they don't make a hit for. But that's what I'm into, because like not
then you probably
Ray Kurzweil kind of stuff where you're like,
yeah, I love that.
I think I hate that. I hate that stuff. It's so disingenuous. You're going to download your conscious onto a computer.
Oh, I don't.
And it's like that's not you. Well, go ahead.
I don't believe that. I just don't think it's possible. But I think Ray Kurzweil is probably right more closer and more right than most futurists. I love that future prediction of tech. I don't take it as the gospel, but I mean, that's where like me telling people that the self-driving car is not going to hit in the time frame you think that it's going to hit. That and listening to actual AI experts say, no, they're not going to get it in 4 years, maybe 15.
I just think what he's trying to do to get immortality is especially if you're a person who fears the who doesn't want to die. That's not you. If you want go into this regenerative technology, live forever that way.
Well, if I download your consciousness tomorrow and you're still here, that's not you. And also,
that's my whole point. That's my whole point.
Yeah, I know. The second your consciousness diverges, you're now two separate people because you're experiencing life differently.
Mm-hmm.
So you in 5 years wouldn't probably be very close to this, whatever it is, ghost in the machine.
I mean, I don't even think you'd be happy if you were just a machine. Like, I like being human. I can go out and interact with the world and exercise. And I think people need to like have purpose and, some kind of activity to really.
Yeah, but then there's the people that just like being on the computer all day.
Yeah, I don't think they're happy.
Like, what are you gonna do? Like, drive around a bunch of schmucks like Knight Rider? Like, it's someone's car.
Dude,
hey.
It's to the point where I go to the sauna at the gym because like everything's fucking bothering me.
Is it called the sauna or the sauna? Sorry, that just may have been the New York coming out of.
So,
wait, you're from sauna?
I'm from Western New York. I mean,
I call it sauna.
Sauna.
Yeah, I look at people. I look at people in there, and I'm like, you can't go 10 minutes in here without looking at that fucking rage-filled social media.
That's the whole point of being in the sauna.
You can't just sit in here and suffer.
They actually bring their phones into the sauna with them.
That's
Jesus.
Their phones need a nice cleaning too. They need to sweat it out.
Right.
Well, I used to bring my phone in, but that's just to listen to something.
That was just to watch porn.
That was very frowned upon in the New York Sports Club.
Ooh, fancy. I bet you could get away with it at Equinox.
There was nothing fancy about that New York Sports Club, let me tell you.
Come on, dude. You're supposed to be doing that at fucking, was it Planet Fitness, not NYSC. Go ahead.
Dude, how is it in New York? Are all the businesses going under?
It's over exaggerated in
is
the
it?
Media. It's yeah. There's definitely a lot of shit that's closed down, but you hear some places you think that the city's burning down. They just announced Andrew Yang is running for mayor.
Really?
Yeah, baby.
And considering he's the only person who has any name recognition, who's running for mayor right now in New York, he's probably going to win.
Nice.
Yeah. So De Blasio's gone after. He's gone. He can't run again.
Idiot.
Yeah,
the dude's an
he's
idiot.
gone. He
I don't
can't
know
run again. Someone in his administration's running. But he was the first. But to be honest, I just drive in and out from work, so I don't even take the subway anymore. So I'm like, my whole view of New York City is FDR Drive, West Side Highway, and lower, like this financial district. So
not
the rest
that,
of Manhattan.
What's the toll on the West Side Highway today?
The West Side, I avoid it. I don't pay any tolls.
You do 3rd Street.
I do. Yeah, I take the 3rd Avenue bridge over. So this is the Ability's Commute to Work show. I guess now.
Anyone else living in New York? There is a freeway into
what's
the city.
Is the street the indoor street dining right now, which is just outdoor dining that's essentially indoor because it's freezing over here, and it's like people are essentially in boxes.
Oh, dude, I just ate outside tonight at some restaurant. It was fucking 52 degrees out, which is, cold in Florida.
I haven't eaten in a restaurant in 87 years.
It's like it was the first time I was out. I just was going insane inside this house, and I had to I couldn't leave Cody alone. So it's like I didn't even want to just run into a place and just pick up food to go. Because last time I left her here, I had a doctor's appointment on Friday. By the way, Cody's my dog. Well, my dad's dog. I'm watching her. But she barks and howls the whole time. She's a little mutt. She's a shepherd and corgi mix, we think. But so yeah, I brought her with me. What? Dude, she's like 25 pounds.
Can we see Cody right now?
Yeah, I gotta find my camera.
I probably got a picture of Cody on here.
yeah.
I got live Cody for.
I'll send you a picture of Cody.
Well, that's good, man. I got the impression New York City was in a total meltdown. I don't really want to see any city in America in a total meltdown. People were cheering about Portland. I'm like, why would you cheer the destruction of one of the cities in your people's livelihood?
New York, it's bad. It's bad in New York. It's when you compare it to prior to the pandemic. You know, but you know, the homeless, I haven't seen any more homeless. I hear the subway is a shit show. Complete shit show, I've heard.
Yeah, I would avoid that shit like
properly. What's wrong with the subway?
No, just people, you know, just homeless in the subways were really bad for a while, you know. And then also like you know, imagine trying to socially distance in a packed 6 train. You know, it's like ridiculous. It's one of the reasons why I stopped. You know, I as soon as the first guy got sick in our area in Rochelle, yeah, that lawyer who got sick, like the first person in New York, I bought a car and started driving to work every day, and just, you know,
listen, the subway,
impossible.
Like, even when you're not in a pandemic, the subway is just, it reeks. It smells like shit. You feel like you're gonna catch something. Like, there's just, yeah, it's
nothing beats you down more.
Yeah, than riding the subway.
Right, the
like,
subway
listen,
5 days a week.
But listen, the subway's not that bad during the day. Like, all right, during rush hour, it's a fucking pain in the ass. Like, forget that shit. You're gonna be back to back with somebody on the subway just pushing in. But you don't want to go on the subway at like 2:00 in the morning. That's a whole. There's just
a bunch of drunk college girls. That'd be awesome.
No, because drunk college girls are not taking the subway at 2:00 in the morning. They're taking a taxi.
It's just a bunch of guys screaming about their CIA implants, and you're not sure whether you're going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Is this guy going to kill me right here?
There's definitely that. There's definitely a lot of holding your breath as you walk by people, because you just know the smell. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of that. But I've seen what happened. I saw one guy just like the subway door opens and like a horde of people just rush out, just freaking out. And you're looking, there's this guy just projectile vomiting all over the cart, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And he looks up and goes, "Get out!" Coming in, don't worry about it.
Tell the story.
Cleared out a whole subway.
Apelio, tell the story about the homeless girl on the side of the street that you went to.
Oh my god. So this is when I first started dating. This is like I think it was like the first time when I first started dating John's sister. We were coming back from a concert in a city. We were walking to Grand Central to head back up to Westchester, and I see this girl sitting there, you know, and she looked pretty, you know, homeless. So
go ahead.
So I'm walking, and I'm like, I'm gonna show them a generous guy. So I go over, and I'm like, here you go. And she takes the $1 from my hand and looks up at me and goes, I'm not homeless. she was just a girl having a shitty night, just really disheveled. And I go, oh,
you take $1 back?
Anyway. I didn't know what to do. I was like, just take it anyway. And
okay,
thanks.
I was like, here.
I would have said to her, I know you're not homeless, but now you got $1. You look sad.
Yeah. Dude, you know what resonates about that story is there's been so many times that I've caught like the last train back from the city, like the 153, or if you miss that, you got to wait till 5:35. And when you're taking that 5:35 train back, it's a shit show. You arrive at Grand Central, the doors are still unlocked until like 5:30, and there's just people crying along the fucking, like, just sitting down, like leaning against the freaking building, just crying hysterically like that. And that's all I'm picturing as he's telling me the story. It's like, it's so easy to mistake somebody being homeless for somebody just having a shitty night. Fucking makeup all over the place, missing their shoes.
It's just that there's so much. Like, I remember, like, you know, getting.
Dude, you know that's a
Grand
great
Central
too, right?
Oh, that, yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
That's a great stand-up video. You can do so crush with that, because that is so funny, and especially if you did it in New York City, they would 100% be on board with you.
It's so visceral. I've had to tell off not tell off. It almost sounds rude to tell off a homeless person, but like when they like, I've had them like hover over me while I'm having lunch at Grand Central. Just flat out, I was like, "You gonna finish that?" I'm like, "Bro, I'll give you my leftovers if you really want, but can you at least let me fucking finish?"
Yeah.
It's like I've obviously over ordered from myself. You'll have some. Don't worry. Just fucking finish. But yeah, it's
Yeah, dude, look at him and be like, I got all the sympathy in the world for other human beings. Can you have some sympathy for me and allow me to eat?
100%. 100%. And then, then you hear like stories of the guy, like there used to be one guy who would post up right in front of Grand Central. And apparently there was one of the New York newspapers did
was it the cop
story on him. No, this guy was pulling in like 70 grand a year, just sitting, this panhandling in front of Grand Central. The guy disappeared after that article came out. I don't know how many days he lasted after the article came out over there, but he was just, you just have to think of all the foot traffic that's over there, that in that spot right there, all the tourists, everybody.
I'm not going to any way insinuate that most of the people that are asking for money aren't in a bad way, but there are also a lot of grifters. I've read stories about that before. That's why I read a story about a guy who had like a drop down in his little thing. So as soon as like there was a little bit of money in there, he'd drop it down. He could drop the money down so you couldn't see how much was actually in there. And the dude would pull in a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 99% of people that are begging though are probably
I agree.
Oh yeah, it's 100%.
You're gonna be a special kind of weirdo to like really try to trick people into thinking you're poor.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a good part-time job. Maybe I'll try it.
Just a couple of weeks ago, I got taken for I went to get I went to grab a cup of coffee at a Dunkin' Donuts by my job. I'm walking up. It's early morning. I work on the weekends. I work pretty early, and it's like 7:30 in the morning. And a construction worker comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, buddy, can you help me out?" Straight up construction gear, had American flag mask on. And he's like, "Can you give me? I need $20. I'm here all the time. You can take my union card as collateral." I'm like, I need, like, I don't have any money. I need to get the train back to Jersey. Da, 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 da. And I was like, yeah. I was like, all right, but don't worry about your, he sounded legit. Union card. Give him. I was like, here's. I think I gave him $10. I mean, here's $10. Take my number down if you really, because he was like, "Oh, take my union card as collateral." Give him $10. And then so right after that happens, some dude in a wheelchair, with no legs, wheelchair. "Hey man, can you buy me a coffee?" I'm like, "Let's go." Come on, buy him a coffee. Come downstairs. Never hear from the guy again. The first guy again. I'm talking to a coworker about him. He's like, "American flag gator mask?" Like, yeah. He's like, "That motherfucker's asking me." He's asking everybody for $10. I'm like, this motherfucker.
You got to give it to him. He's good at his business.
Yeah, he's good at his. He's straight in his labor. Dude, I walked outside of Winn-Dixie, John. Like over there by USF. Anyways, I see this one guy is pushing a homeless guy, so I got like $20, and so I ate, and I'm,
I just remembered the story.
I walked up to him, and I give him $20, and they look at me and they're like, "Oh my God, man, do you know what this means for us?" And the fucking comedian in my head was just going on and on, like, you got enough money to buy more markers and a big piece of paper so you can make a sign, having more money. He started asking for more money. He's like, "Dude, can I shake your hand?" I'm like, "You're good, brother. Just take the $20, man. I'm not going to get into a touchy-feely with you. You don't look like you've showered in a while."
Yo, did I tell you what happened when I was out in LA? I'm out in LA. This was last year. First time I've actually been out there.
Girl?
What's up?
You became a high-priced call girl?
Oh, of course. I did that 3 of the 4 nights that I was there. But so I'm hanging out. I'm in Anaheim, and there's a city center over there, and it's pretty cool. And I'm on the phone. I think I'm FaceTiming. I think I'm FaceTiming my mom or something like that, and I see these homeless people come by, and one of them's in a wheelchair, this dude, and there's a woman pushing him. You know, he's not. He looks like he's got no strength to even use his hands to like roll himself. So she's just pushing him, whatever. And when a car sees them, and they pull over, and they're like, "Hey, you know, I'll give you some money, whatever." So she's got her window down. She's like handing out the money, and the woman pushing the wheelchair taps the guy on the shoulder in the chair, and he stands up and he goes and he walks over to the car and takes the money. And I'm like, what did I just witness?
You witnessed a miracle, okay?
Yeah, you grew legs.
Lieutenant Dan.
Dude, the one homeless guy I turned down giving him money, was because he comes up to me. I was at the Chili's coming out. He goes, "Hey man, do you have like $5 so that I can buy my kids diapers?" I go, "Okay, dude, let me I'm gonna ask you this question." I go, "Do you want money for diapers or do you want money for booze? Because I'll give you the money either way if you tell the truth." He goes, "I need to I need the money for diapers." I just looked at him like, "Bro, I can smell the alcohol on your breath." So that was the one homeless guy that I had to turn down. If you would have told me I need to go buy booze or drugs, I would have been like, "Here, man, here's $10."
I mean, honestly, I just don't carry cash, you know. So unless they have like a Bitcoin thing I can scan, you know, like I can't.
Honestly, though, like I don't carry cash that much anymore. But when I used to go to USF, and when I used to commute to USF every morning, I'd bring a banana with me, and half the time, like I had full intention that, hey, this is gonna be my lunch or snack for later. Whenever I was at the light and I'd see somebody over there like asking for money and stuff, I'd just instead give them the banana. And I was like, "Yeah, listen, I don't got cash, but here, you know, here's some food. You know,
aren't you?"
Say that again. You gave them what?
A banana,
Okay.
a Bitcoin."
Dude, who doesn't want
you look like you.
Listen, man, I could be full, and if somebody offered me a banana, I'd be happy. It's fucking great fruit.
I was about to say the best, but it's not the best. It's the crazy thing is when you recognize the homeless, you know, like the panhandler, like on your way into work. It's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And you see him like every day. That's like, you know, I don't know where I was going with that. I apologize.
No, you're good, man.
Listen, there's definitely way more cases.
There's no structure here. It always starts off about investing, and then it turns into we talk about something ridiculous.
Like I said,
See, the thing down here,
like 30 years, then we might talk about investing the whole time. But right now, it's like whatever.
Hey, what homeless people should invest in is a Square. Really, the little credit card swipers.
Oh, in LA they have that shit. Shut up. I swear to God.
Are you serious?
Swear to God, dude.
They have
I
what?
swear to God. In
the credit card
LA,
swipers you can click into the squares.
There's some people like they're comedians even talked about it up in, you know, at the store, and they're like, yeah, like to the point where people are like, "Oh, I don't have any cash. Oh, here, Square," and they have a cell phone, and they're like, "All right, take my money."
So like, how's that whole thing?
You can fuck off with that. I'm telling you right now. You walk up to me, you're like, "I'm homeless," and you pull out like the latest iPhone. I'm gonna look at you.
I take Bitcoin. I take all currencies, Bitcoin, XRP.
But listen. What was Abilio just talking about? That there is the panhandler that was like, all right, you know, they actually had money. So yeah, there's probably people out in LA doing the same shit. Like these super populated cities where they're just like, "Oh, I'm actually not poor. Oh wait, oh I don't have cash. Okay, here, give me money." Like what, dude? If that happens to you, you get so like flustered. You're like, "All right, yeah, swipe it here, take $1 or whatever." Like, how many people are actually going? How many people? Maybe listen. We anybody could easily just say, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't give them the fucking money." But when you're in that situation, you probably get so flustered that you're going to do it.
You think I would swipe my credit or debit card for some freaking hobo?
You say that now, dude.
Dude, my credit card.
You say that now, dude.
It's like you.
Dude, what's the expression? Everybody likes to think that they'd run into the fire to save somebody. All right, until you feel that heat, it's just.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I might do the credit card thing because that's the bank's money.
It's like you think you won't swipe a credit card for a hobo until the hobo calls your bluff. I got no cash. That's all right. Oh shit!
He's sitting there eating this can of Bush baked beans. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just square on my phone."
No, like one day in America, like 100 years from now, it's gonna be so ubiquitous to have like some kind of technology that every person will have some kind of thing where they can digitally transact, no matter how freaking poor they are. Like that will be a thing. 100%.
I mean, it's already getting there.
You can have the Cash App or any of the a homeless guy with a cell phone and Cash App.
It's just a loose idea, and I'm not married to the idea, and I just threw it out there. But it seems to me that the best way to deal with homelessness is to monetize the homeless. Whether that was for a universal basic income form, because I mean, look, they're not productive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm like I'm just throwing that out into the zeitgeist. I'm not like saying this is the way, but it's like you already have the problem of them walking into stores out there, and then they say the police aren't going to respond to anything under $1,000. Okay, well, if I'm Walgreens and people keep coming in and taking my stuff, why would I put a store there? At least if the homeless had some sort of cash they could trade, they'd be less.
I mean, like, are most of them mentally ill though? So even if you give somebody cash, they would just.
That's what I was just about to bring up. Abilio, do you remember the story? I brought this up earlier. The guy with the boots. It was probably like 2011, 2010-ish. It was a cold night out. There was a homeless dude. A New York City cop came by, saw that he was wearing no shoes and it was cold. So he went to a store and he bought the guy a pair of boots. All right. At the same time, it so happened to be that somebody, a news journalist or whatever, caught it, took a picture. She wrote an article about it. All right. It went viral. Everybody heard about it in the tri-state area.
No,
a week later, you trust me, it's gonna ring a bell.
I heard about it.
Yeah, a week later, they see the guy again, and he's wearing no shoes. They come to find out. They asked him like, "Where are your boots?" And he's like,
"Sold them for crack.
They're up in my apartment." The guy had an apartment. He just chose to live out on the street.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, a lot of these guys are nuts, and that's what I was like. What I was thinking before was that it was true that like back, I think around, it was Nixon who cut funding to a lot of these state homes and put a lot of these people on the streets. So back in the day,
Reagan sped it up.
It might have been Reagan. I might be mistaken. It might be Reagan.
I think it was Reagan.
It might have been. It was Reagan. Yeah, who cut like a lot of the funding to all these state homes, and that's where a lot of these people would be right now if those places still existed.
And the sad thing is you pay for these people one way or another. You pay for it through theft at a store, just societal costs. The people out in California who've lost their property value because the state doesn't want to do anything about these homeless people camping in front of their houses. So you're paying one way or another.
The amount of money that you would have to pay in taxes per citizen is minimal. It's like you wouldn't even know.
Well, going back to Andrew Yang, he's trying to do a form of his freedom dividend for New York City. To I don't know if it's going to be $1,000 a month or if he'll even be able to implement it, but that's one of his.
No, that's a pipe dream. I mean, like if you want to implement something like that, you have to raise taxes on the wealthy, and if you do that, they're going to freaking leave.
Yeah,
it'll attract a bunch of people that don't make a lot of money, but the people that have to pay it are going to freaking leave.
And that's the one thing they're trying. I think Cuomo is actually trying to, is trying to walk that tightrope right now in not taxing the hell out of the rich right now. He's bringing in legalized marijuana and sports betting to try to raise, because they have like New York State right now has like a $15 billion deficit because of the pandemic and the loss of income from all these businesses going bankrupt. And he's getting calls to tax the rich, but you can only bash these people over the head for so much before they do leave for.
We could get a lesson in economics. Look at Texas. Look at Florida right now. This is what I tell people. I'm like, look, I'm probably more socially liberal than most progressives. I'm just fiscally conservative, and I support the Second Amendment. But I look at people, I'm like, these policies that you enacted in California and Oregon and Seattle, New York, they're failed policies. They don't work. You tax the rich. The rich say, I got money, I can leave. What you're stuck with is a poorer and poorer tax base. The only way California is going to get back on track is to cut taxes. And they have a massive deficit too.
Look at all the companies going to Texas or Cali.
See, but that's why they always try to go at the federal level, because then you can't escape it. That's always why they push for the federal government.
Mm-hmm. And then they conveniently ignore the hidden tax that's placed upon. I posted on Facebook, if you're arguing over a political party and your argument is that your political party is a slightly smaller pile of crap, you remember you're still arguing about a pile of crap. And then this guy goes, yeah, but my pile of crap is going to give me $2,000 in stimulus. And then to which I said that you'll pay back through inflation.
Science. Yeah, and you'll pay back through taxes.
But that's the thing. So that's the thing with New York, and the problem that New York's having right now is, yeah, you can tax the wealthy, what they're taxing the wealthy, but if you're going to tax the wealthy that much, you have to give them a reason to stay, give value to, and the problem with New York City is having right now is New York City, and I think it's mostly because a lot of people talk about like, oh, it was already like this. No, it was the pandemic, and you had the pandemic, and then those protests and those, that happened. That was just like a confluence of events that just made everything look really shitty for a really concentrated period of time. But you're losing that value. You're losing
protests. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make smart.
Yeah,
you could call them riots by a bunch of middle-class suburban white kids. I'm fighting the patriarchy by stealing Nikes, because that's what that was.
I saw that crowd at one point. It was crazy, and a lot of it pretty much looked like a mosh podge of a bunch of different, people. But that's the problem with New York is you're starting to lose that value, and that like, all right, what am I getting for paying these high taxes, especially now you can't leave your goddamn tiny, your freaking apartment. There's nothing here. There's nothing to do, that's indoors or, so it's tough.
But honestly, like my theory is like the more that we can digitally work, we can telework, we don't need to be in a city or in one place. The more that happens, the more likely people are going to leave these high tax areas, because you don't have to be in one location to transact business. So there's no point in congregating a bunch of people into a big city because you don't need to. So over time, I think that's going to, really start pushing people to leave and to go to lower tax states. And over the long run, that's going to lower, most states' taxes as they try to incentivize people to move to their state.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that you're going to see a tax bidding war.
I mean, that's how it's always been. But, I mean,
look at Florida.
At high taxes, they were able to keep people there because, there was something special about that city. Like they were able to access, a bunch of other people there, or it was a nice climate. But
that's why I left That's why I left Western New York. I walked outside of my house one day. It was negative 20 degrees out, and I asked myself a question. Why am I paying a 10% income tax from the state of New York? What am I getting out of it? That I can't get?
Probably nothing.
Yeah, I wasn't getting anything out of it. So I was like, screw this, GI Bill Florida.
Yeah.
Like I know where my federal taxes go. I have no clue where my Virginia state taxes go. I don't know what I get for paying my taxes.
Virginia.
Well, here's another thing. Like, I don't understand this mentality. I really don't. We need higher taxes. Well, if your higher taxes mean that you're working for the federal government for free, how much? Like, we agree we need roads and police. I don't necessarily think that I need to fund you firing a $1.2 million missile at a guy that makes 4 cents a day. I don't know why my tax money is going to that, but that represents that tax money you pay represents units of your labor that you had to give to the government. Why do you want to pay more taxes? Why do you think Chris, you and I both said it. We both said it, and I firmly believe it. And I believe it more and more. Corporations shouldn't pay taxes. We should pay taxes.
Yes, because the corporations are shareholders. The shareholders own the corporation. The corporation is not just this thing that's taking advantage of you. If you want to tax somebody, tax the shareholders with dividend distributions. That's all you have to do. But you don't have to tax the corporate entity itself. Because if you own a share of a stock, you're double taxed. You get taxed with the corporate income, and then you get taxed when they send you a freaking dividend.
Yeah, and so what? Look at it. Look at the absurdity of this. You're coming home at the end of the day, and I'm standing in front of the door of your house when you're walking in the door. Like, hey, I'm from the IRS. I need $1 from you because you work today, and I'm going to send it over to Pakistan so that they can study gender studies. What would you say to that person?
I'm like,
if it was voluntary, you'd look at him and be like, I'm not paying you to send money over to Pakistan for gender studies. I don't care.
I think the problem which you're speaking of is it's basically where the spending's going. That's what you have a problem with. Yeah. And it's just like you look at a company, right? You look at a company, like think of all these even publicly traded companies that just lay off all these people. And they understand, hey, in order for us to succeed as a company, we have to cut back on certain expenses. It fucking sucks. And when you work for that company, like, hey, maybe there's a way that we can also increase that revenue, but at the same time, we need to cut back on expenses. It's a part of the game. How come when it comes to hey, we need to pay for this and we need to pay for that. Oh, let's tax more people. Nobody's talking about, hey, let's budget the money better.
Yeah, I don't think poor governance is excuse for lower taxes. I just think it's an excuse for, better governance. Because what do you say to people? Like, what do you say to people who, you see these companies that, pay zero in taxes, pay low to no taxes, but they're using American infrastructure that we pay for to create some of that profit, like roads and FAA bandwidth. They're using infrastructure that taxpayers pay for to make a profit. So if you should be able to see them paying taxes as their way to give the country their share of what I can almost say they're owed. What do you say to people who come with you with that?
Well, you tell them the company itself is not a person, but the company is owned by shareholders.
We'll tell that to the Supreme Court.
Because that's also that loophole for why CEOs can do whatever the fuck they want.
Because they are an entity. They are a person. So they can't have it both ways.
Legally, they are, but you also have they are owned by the shareholders. So when you pay a dividend to the shareholders, they pay the tax. So by taxing a corporation, like you're just double taxing. Like either you can tax the corporation a little bit and the shareholders a little bit, or you can actually just tax the owners directly and
So
not
are you
corporations.
Because that's
believer?
so when I talk about New York City and everything, I actually for lower corporate taxes in New York because I feel like it makes more sense to tax personal income just to instead of corporate taxes, just to kind of have people come and create jobs in New York.
People will invest in your community because the corporation isn't paying any taxes. They'll have to pay some taxes, but they don't have to worry about such high double taxation. That's why lowering corporate tax rates is good.
If I was looking at,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I know you are. But I was just looking at somebody who doesn't own any stock.
Yeah,
I would say they're like these record corporate profits. I mean, okay, do you have $20? Okay, you do. All right, so let's go on this app. We'll go on Robinhood or M1 Finance. Here, buy this share of Amazon. You're now a part owner of Amazon, and you're now benefiting from them not paying taxes. You're benefiting from it now.
And the only way that the average American can
find a dollar. You can find a dollar. Even a homeless person could probably find a dollar to buy a fractional share of Amazon. It would make us overall richer if this just basic financial literacy was taught to the rest of us, so you didn't think these corporations are this evil thing. It's like, no, dude, just go with it. You're benefiting now.
Yeah, but people don't understand like what corporations are. They have no idea they're owned by shareholders. They have no idea how the tax code works. They have no idea how Social Security works. They don't understand any of it. It's just basic financial education. But if they don't know, they can fall to.
Well, it's also a matter of it's easy to just point the finger, just blame somebody else.
Well, it's like I've actually talked to people. I'm like, should you
guys keep talking.
Yeah. I've actually said this to people. I'm like talking to them. I'm like, corporations, should they pay higher taxes? They go, yeah. I go, do you own a 401k? And they're like, yeah. I go, okay, well, you're getting taxed. And when I explain that to them, they look at me and they're like, what do you mean? They don't know that. I'm like, your 401k benefiting from these corporations expanding. It's not taking the pie, it's creating a bigger pie for everybody.
Remember in elementary school when like you had kids running for fucking president and vice president or whatever? Did they have that shit at your school? All right.
Yeah.
How many of their
I know
campaigns
where you're going
were?
With this, it's great.
Oh, we're gonna get 2 lunches. We're gonna get 2 lunches. We're gonna get longer recesses, and it's just like everybody that doesn't you're a kid, you don't understand how it fucking works, and you're just like, oh, that sounds great. I want that. I'm voting for that person. And it's just like the average Joe, it's almost a similar concept. They don't understand how that works. They think, oh, you know what? I'm going to get more money. It's going to benefit me more. And it's really just a freaking dream. And the truth is there's repercussions for each change. Like there's a domino effect. So it's not just as black and white as, oh, you know what? You're going to do this. Oh, it's going to benefit everybody. No, it's somewhere else. You're going to lose something. Well, and I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, no, it is. But it comes down to this. You ask a simple question. Do you think that a guy working in the government can predict that you want a hot dog next Thursday at 2:00?
Well, it's the same apartment complexes. That's another scenario I always use. Why am I paying extra money for a gym that's shit, for a pool that I never use, for the dog park when I don't have a dog, the playground when I don't have a kid? All right. And it's just like, where's the, you know what? I don't have any of these things. Why do I have to pay so much in taxes for it? When I can go pay LA Fitness, who's in the business for having gyms and is going to have a much better gym at a probably cheaper rate than the amount of money that's the portion of the money that I'm paying in rent to somebody's that's in the business of real estate and not a gym.
I agree. I mean, I don't think that. I think the lure is easy, like you said. I think politicians promise you crap that you can't deliver on. And it's also often ignorance of a subject. When gun control, we need to get these weapons of war, which there's no such thing. It's a tool of defense. We need to get them off the street. Okay, but more people were beaten to death last year with hands and feet than all rifles combined were used to kill somebody. So what are you talking about? You're telling me this is an epidemic, but it's actually not. It's a violence problem. It's just, I think people are.
Everybody wants to watch a fucking documentary of Ted Bundy, and it's the #1 streaming fucking thing on Netflix, and they think it's all right. Jeff Dye has a joke. You got to look this one up because I'm going to pass on this. But just basically, Jeff Dye has a joke about serial killers and how it's basically just weird that there's people that freaking idolize that type of shit, But go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think people are afraid to say the words "I don't know."
Why
That's really what it is.
Everything.
That's what Gary Johnson said it did when he asked him about Aleppo.
Oh yeah, and then everybody fucking jumped on that.
Yeah,
who the fuck's Aleppo?
About everything. And
but I'll tell you what, you knew how to balance a fucking budget. Like the fucking dude had good fucking. I don't know. Well, that's another can of worms.
Yeah. No, but but that's the thing though. The whole thing with guns, you got to figure out something because the amount of shootings you have in this country it's a problem.
How many more people are getting killed with drunk drivers?
Hold on. Let's first address some numbers on the whole gun shooting things. You have two problems. The numbers that the internet's already censoring me. No, you have two problems. They'll throw out the number 30 to 40,000 people die per year from guns. Yeah, well, I'll throw this back at you. 60% of them are suicides, and thus not my problem.
I'm talking about mass. I'm talking about what they consider a mass shooting, which is like more than 4 people at a time.
If you actually look at the numbers, the vast majority of those shootings are actually caused by the drug war. But if you even want to account and go down per capita shootings, we rank far lower than other countries. Norway is higher in per capita shootings than the United States is. So first off, you have the problem of the drug war. Because they don't have a legal means to solve their business disputes, they resort to violence. That inflates the number. But it's something like on the mass shootings that people tend to think of, is something like less than 100 people die every year from that. More people die from drowning. Gun control is really this. The first gun laws in America were made to prevent slaves from owning firearms, because then they would be able to fight back. And the problem is the people that are at the top in this country, they don't want you to be able to defend yourself. They don't like you because you're working class. They think you're an idiot if you want a gun. So, I mean, when you actually start really looking at the numbers, again, it starts to become a problem of the people screaming the loudest have no knowledge of it. Like, I'm sorry, this is my opinion on it. If you can't take an AR-15 apart and put it back together, I'm not going to take your opinion serious, because you don't really. Every anti-gun person I talk to ends up in the end, and I'm not even that knowledgeable, ends up getting crushed in the debate when I start throwing numbers at them. And like, you can look it up. France and Norway are per capita have more shootings, and we have more guns than they do.
Yeah, but the problem isn't It's like they don't care about numbers. They only care about sensationalism and drama and whatever the news tells them. So you show one high school that gets shot up, and people are going to react negatively, and that's part of the propaganda. People aren't going to listen to the numerical argument. So it's like an unwinnable debate.
It is. But if you look at like David Hope, I feel bad for the kid for this reason. You're going to find out in the end, all you really were a useful idiot. That's really all that is about. You shouldn't.
16-year-old useful idiots? No.
16-year-old who went through a traumatic event has adults up there. They're adults using that kid to exploit an issue. That should never have happened.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion.
It's
he went through a traumatic. That dude is traumatized. He really is, and I understand that, and I have all the sympathy in the world for him. But
that's the kid from Parkland.
Yeah, and there's assholes out there that have sent death threats, and you elicit no sympathy from me, even if I disagree with this guy when you do stuff like that, because I think that's awful to send something like that to a kid, but. The only way we're going to come to an agreement is to actually look at the numbers and logically talk something out. The thing is I've never hurt somebody with a gun. I'm not giving you my AR-15. Whether you think I have a need for it or not.
But do you just not? So I don't think you should take people's guns. Well, no, that's not true. I think you should take certain people's guns away. Certain people shouldn't have guns. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like certain people. So when you have people who are like, no, like I don't want any obstacles in getting guns whatsoever. I can go to Dick's Sporting Goods right now and buy a couple of shotguns. Right now in New York.
It's a red tape solution.
What time frame are you talking about? Because you're going to have a 3-day waiting period. You're going to have to give them a drop.
No, I can go to Dick's right now. Well, not right now; they're closed. But when they're open, I've walked in with my best friend and gone, and he bought 3 rifles. No waiting period whatsoever.
He's got to have something because I just bought an AR in Florida and I had to wait 3 days.
How is that possible in New York? Hold up. There's a part of the story we're missing here because that's New York, and we're talking about Florida, who's got
they're hunting rifles. John, me and Wesley, Wesley. And Wesley.
What type of rifle? What are they? Semi-automatic bolt action?
He got a 30-06. He got a pump action shotgun, and he got an R25, the Remington version of AR R25, the Remington version of like the AR-15.
I'm missing something here because I'm telling you, Florida has much more. And I'm not saying that you weren't there, but there had to be something more to that because I'm in Florida and there's way more lax laws. And basically I go in, the guy goes, "You got a concealed carry?" I go, "No." He goes, "Okay, FBI rules, there's a 72-hour waiting period."
Yep.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
But see, that's also the thing.
This was in 2015-ish, so it might be. No, this was definitely after Sandy Hook.
I don't know.
Abilia, somebody getting their concealed weapons.
That's different. It's impossible to get a handgun.
But I was going to say,
that's in New York.
I was talking to somebody in like 2011, 2012, trying to get their concealed. They were a security guard. They worked. They did volunteer work with like a police department. I forget which one it was, but it was like a 6 or 7. It took them 6 or 7 years to get their concealed.
If you want to get a concealed carry license, a concealed carry in New York State, you either have to own your own business in like a really bad neighborhood, or you have to know a judge.
You have to know a judge who be famous. This is my problem with gun laws. Like I see, this is the thing that fires me up about a lot of anti-gun people. It's the saying, Samuel Colt made all men equal. Why do you think that you have the right to tell a 104-pound woman that she has no right to have a handgun to defend herself? Men are gross. We commit most of the violence. She should be able to defend herself. And, Emperor Cuomo, I guarantee you he's got a gun. And Bloomberg, he's guarded by men with guns, even though he doesn't know
Harris
what
has
he's
one.
talking about. Huh?
Harris has one.
And I'm going to tell you the nightmare scenario that we're all going to have to face. 3D printed guns that are as reliable as ones made are on their way. They're coming. There was a article, or there was a little documentary on YouTube about a guy in Europe with some of the most strict gun laws in the world that 3D printed a semi-automatic 9mm. Now, I'm just saying the criminals will always have guns. I want a gun to defend myself. Sorry, we don't live in a world where there's not.
No, I agree. I just
They're already out there in the world.
You gotta have some checks. So
But
that's the problem. But I'm not saying it's
perfect.
perfect though. I'm not saying it's perfect though, because you had the kid from Sandy Hook who stole his mom's guns.
And that kid, that's another thing I want to bring up. That's a red tape solution. That kid had issues. All right.
But here's the thing.
That's another.
If you wanted to take my firearms from me, and because you thought that I was mentally in decline, I don't have a problem with that as long as it's due process, not a red flag law where you just show up and yank my stuff. I want you to be able to.
I don't agree with that either.
I want you to be able to.
I agree with you with that.
Then I don't have a problem with it because there are people that should not have firearms. I have met people that have guns, and I'm like, I don't know if I want you to have a gun.
No, but 100%. But that's the problem.
You want a guy like Oz to have a gun.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of our friends. You want that dude to have a gun.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that's the other thing. It's like almost at this point in the United States, it's like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah.
Like how are you gonna? So it's a super complicated issue.
Well, that's the whole thing. Look at Chicago. Doesn't Chicago have one of the strictest gun laws? All right.
Yeah.
And you know who can't defend themselves? Law-abiding citizens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what inevitably it's this. Whenever you make something illegal, it goes to during Prohibition. Every president that was there during Prohibition had a liquor cabinet in the White House. The rich and the well-connected will always have the protection. It inevitably just filters down to the middle class and the poor and interferes with their ability to defend themselves.
Hey man,
and
Chris Rapp.
Who?
Don't go to clubs with metal detectors.
Yeah, right.
Shirt seems safe inside, Yeah. But that's the whole thing. It's just like when you go to a place that says no guns permitted, those are the scariest places to be, because that means the people that are law-abiding, that have a concealed weapons permit, do not have a weapon on them, and you're defenseless.
Those signs make you think of the drug-free zone signs. You got
or dosing their kids with.
Like, dude, those freaking gun-free signs, they're just a way to like attract a certain client. Like, if you have a client or a target group that doesn't like guns,
the Karens of the world.
Yeah, you would put that sign up. Of course, that's not going to stop anybody from having a freaking concealed, pistol. But it makes their clientele, their target market, feel.
I'm going to run to the back.
That's what sign is there.
All right, I'm sure I told Jay this story before, but at USF. All right, we used to get text message. Like when you're a student, you sign up for text messages, push notifications, and stuff like that. And we would get text messages all the time. Oh, gunman on campus. Somebody just robbed the dorms over here. Somebody has a gun or whatever. And it would happen. I was there for 3 years. It probably happened at least 7, maybe 7 to 10 times. And one time it happened, one of our friends, Oz, was in class, and everybody gets the notification on their phone, and the teacher just continues on like teaching. He gets out of his seat. He goes up to the doors. He puts like up a desk sideways, and he's trying to like cover the the actual window into the room. And she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Did you not like get the text message?" Like, and she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you know, there's somebody on campus with a gun right now. Like, we should be like taking some precautions, you know." Oh no! All I'm getting at was just like it was just never taken seriously. Like, this is somebody that has guns. He was a law-abiding citizen. He didn't bring his weapons onto campus because he weren't supposed to. But at the same time, like he was taking some sort of precaution. Like, hey, let's pretend there's nobody in here. He's turning the lights off and stuff like that. But I told you that.
Well,
right,
you told me that story, but it's this.
Yeah.
You know, there were a lot of really liberal people were making fun of American Sniper when they talk about there's 3 types of people in the world: the sheep, the wolf, and the sheepdog. Well, that comes from Lieutenant Grossman's article on killing. And he's in it. He basically said, the sheep will always hate the sheepdog because they remind the sheep of the wolf. And it's like, the best way to say it is, I'm telling you that there are bad people in the world because I know there are bad people in the world. You want to bury your head in the sand and think that everybody is innately good. Most people are good, but some people are bad people. And, you know, look, if the pandemic taught us anything, is that civilization, if only temporary, can fail. Imagine if COVID had a 10% killing rate. How quickly do you think all the supply lines in America would have collapsed? At least if
Jay,
temporary.
This is another the fucking Hurricane Irma. The
Yeah.
Irma story.
You tell them the story.
So, freaking when Irma was coming, you know, a lot of people decided to evacuate. So we left from, you know, the Tampa Bay area, and you drive up the freaking up to the Panhandle. We end up in Tallahassee. There's no hotels available. We go to Panama. There's no hotels. We go to Pensacola. No hotels. We decided just to go to New Orleans. So we go to New Orleans. We spend a couple nights there, and then we decide, all right, it's about time to go back. So we go back. We last filled up our tank in about, I think it was somewhere in Alabama or Mississippi, and we're driving along I-10. We're about to hit, you know, Tallahassee area, and we realize that the gas gauge isn't working. And as this is hitting, we're like, oh shit, we probably need gas about, you know, maybe not now, but whatever. Let's just fill up just in case. We're going through the whole city of freaking Tallahassee, right? Going down Tennessee Ave, every fucking popular street. There's nothing open. The only thing that's open is Waffle House. Their gas stations are all closed. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. So we're like, all right, there's all the power's out, by the way. No service, nothing. So we get back on I-10. We're like, all right, let's hit 75 and we'll come back down. We're hitting 75. We're just waiting. There's no lights on I-10 and I-75, these, you know, huge interstates in Florida. So we're driving down, nothing. Then we're like, all right, we finally make it to Gainesville. And we're like, we have to be on like E right now. Like the you know, we get off the exit and pull into the first gas station over there, right near the UF campus. And cars are backed up. You see a whole bunch of people sitting outside their cars on their cell phones, and it's just like, oh, you can tell there's no gas here. You know, no matter where we went, there's no gas. It was, people are screaming, people are yelling at each other. There's fights about to be broken out. It's just fucking haywire. It's just, it reminds me of that scene from fucking Batman, or was it The Dark Knight, where the Joker's getting interrogated, and he's just like, hey, you know, people call me crazy. I'm just one fucking wave ahead of the tide, or whatever, current, or whatever the expression is.
Yeah.
And he's just like, as soon as something starts crumbling down, people start going fucking insane. And that's what we're basically witnessing. Like, we tried to pull over to a hotel is completely booked. We're in the parking lot. They're trying to close their eyes to get some rest. We don't even know what the fuck we're going to do. I text Oz because Oz is in Ocala, and I'm not hearing anything. It's like 3:00 in the morning. So I'm letting my parents try to get some sleep. I'm just keeping an eye out because there's commotion everywhere. I'm just like, we don't know if somebody's going to come up to us with a fucking gun because of how easy it is to have it concealed down here and just, try to rob us for any money.
Carrier would do that, but
yeah. Well, I mean, or just in general, people are fucking going crazy. That's all I'm getting. Yeah, there's some desperate people out right now. So yeah, it was fucking haywire. We're all fucking anxieties through the roof and shit. So finally I get in contact with Oz and we get back on I-75 to go south, and there's fucking traffic. There's an accident or whatever. They can't clear the road because everything's just shut down. It doesn't matter. Like, a tow truck can't come, so it's just bumper to bumper. So we get off and we go down this road alongside the highway, and there's no lights, no traffic or anything. We're just driving in complete fucking darkness. Could only see maybe 25, 50 feet in front of us. And we're doing this for a good amount of time. No service. We're like, is the car going to fucking run out of gas? We're bugging out. We don't know. If the car runs out of gas, we're screwed. We're just going to be stranded in the middle of fucking nowhere with no service, nothing. It's whatever. So finally we make it to the other side. Oz calls us. He's like, hey, meet me at my restaurant. I got a couple of 5-gallon jugs of gasoline. So we finally fucking make it there. And he pulls in. We're like, yo, what's going on? He's like, hey, man, I'm like, thank you so much for this shit. Like, you don't understand this. You don't even know what's going on. He's telling me stories. He's like, yeah, he was at the gas station like earlier or something like that. Somebody pulled a gun on somebody else or some shit. Like, it was fucking insane. Or whatever is going on. So he gives us the gas. We start pouring it in the gas tank, and a fucking car pulls into the restaurant parking lot as we're doing this. So somebody sees that we have gas. Right now everybody's fucking going crazy for gas. So the first thing he does is he puts his hand on his waist, and he makes it visible to the person coming into the parking lot that he's putting his hand on his waist, insinuating that he's got a weapon on him. And immediately the car stopped, put it in reverse, and back the fuck out of there. Yeah,
that reminds me of the story one time when I went to CVS and they ran out of Snickers. Fucking hell broke loose.
Hey,
people threw.
Gotta have the shirt, man.
Someone whacked me in the face with a crutch.
But basically, that's the type of shit when you want to have a fucking gun. Like, it just happens that quick. People think, oh, we have this society. It's all this. There's this foundation. There's this structure. It's never going to collapse. One fucking hurricane comes through, and it just all goes out the fucking roof. I mean, yeah, out the door.
Dude, you could have a solar. You could have a solar flare that comes through and knocks out the world's electrical grid. Let's say that it just knocks it out for a month. Well, supply lines are again just
call the cops.
And it's really, honestly, people don't like to look at it this way, but it's about 3 days of no food that people start to get real sketchy about what they're willing to do to eat.
But think about, like, what happens when a hurricane is coming, and even if it doesn't even hit the area, people go fucking buying all this water, like fucking as if they're going to be living in doomsday, or like fucking toilet paper during this pandemic. Out of all things, the toilet paper?
Look how dumb people are, man. Like, they are so unprepared to really survive.
But that's what I'm saying.
They spend all their money on freaking toilet paper. Freaking toilet paper.
Bro, it was...
Yeah, right? It's like, right, bro? Like, you can't have a shit towel that you wash after you use it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh, no, I ran out of toilet. This towel.
You're not going to die from a lack of toilet paper. Worst case, you use your hand. But you're not going to freaking die. You know what I'm saying? You want something that is actually going to keep you alive for multiple weeks or months,
like
or years.
sack of rice and dry goods.
That's what I got, dude. I got like 3.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I got so much fucking cans and dried goods and stuff that I still have.
I am still eating the rice that I got.
So Hurricane Irma, when Hurricane Irma was coming, right? So since me and my family decided to evacuate, my roommate decided to stay, and he came home one day with all these fucking groceries. Like, what the fuck, Paul? What is all this shit? He's like, dude, I was in Walgreens and I saw somebody just taking everything off the shelves. So I literally just stuck my arm up onto the fucking shelf and just clotheslined everything into my fucking my fucking shopping cart. Dude, he had look, get this. I literally counted because that's how many fucking items there were. There was 79 fucking cans of tuna fish. But guess what? We didn't have a single jar of mayonnaise in the house.
You're just gonna have to savage.
What'd you get?
I posted it on Instagram or Snapchat. I was like, if the hurricane doesn't kill us, the mercury poison will.
Hey, but he has cats, maybe, right? You gotta feed the cats.
Dude, try getting ammo right now. Because there's like 7 million new gun owners. I went to three gun stores on Thursday. I'm like, you guys got any ammo? They're like limited to buying a new gun. I almost bought a 22 just so I had something. I mean, I have some ammo, but I was like, yeah, it's $179. I can swing.
Dude, I have an SKS and I have 10 rounds. That's all I have.
10,000 rounds, just in case.
But I have a bayonet too, so I can stab people if I need to.
Bro, I got something better. I got a tomahawk.
Oh, dude,
you always have that when you're a fucking person.
Huh?
I swear to God, whenever we do a podcast, you just pull that out of left fucking field. You used to have it hanging on the wall behind you, and then now you just like pulled it out. You had it like fucking strapped to your ankle or some shit.
Dude, it's the greatest thing ever, man. I told him.
Where was that laying when you grabbed it?
Yeah, for real. Like, he's got a fucking
strap to his thigh.
Dude, I play with that thing. Well, I was doing videos and I was pointing with it, using it as a pointer.
Dude,
there's nothing more American than a tomahawk. It just makes you feel like you need a tri-pointed hat.
I got an axe I bought at the medieval times. That's what I.
Oh my God!
You got what?
An axe I bought at the medieval times. I love that freaking thing.
I'm pretty sure.
Dude, it like
packed away.
I got another axe. I got like a legit axe for like cutting wood when I go hunting. Not hunting, camping.
Yeah, it's the medieval times wax.
Dude, I got like 4 different tomahawks.
That's the. Have you bought any of those sober?
No. Sorry, I just get drunk and I'm like, I need a new tomahawk.
Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for making this possible.
Bro, this is not a cheapo Jeff Bezos. This is a hand forged. Somebody beat this steel.
It's not an Amazon bacon, but you did buy it off Amazon.
No, I didn't. I went directly to the blacksmith.
You went to the blacksmith? Where is there a blacksmith in 2021? And how is their business still afloat?
Renaissance fairs.
Walk by faith. They make hand-forged blades and tomahawks in advertisement form. Their tomahawks are badass, dude. Get yourself a tomahawk. You're going to need it. Even Katrina or Irma, you got your handgun too, but a tomahawk, like just slung up over here, adds a little bit more intimidation factor to you.
You always need a good melee weapon. David. Always need a good melee weapon.
Dude. Yeah, try being in the zombie apocalypse without like some sort of melee weapon.
What gun do you use at a zombie apocalypse? I always said 22. Hold up a lot of ammo and shoot accurate.
Not a bad choice. Dirty round. I'm going with a 9mm rifle and handgun because it's the most common round. And a Colt 1911 because they're just awesome.
but 45, yeah.
At 22, man, you could have a backpack full of ammo and then do headshots.
Well, yeah, you don't need no
Headshots
shopping
are a
cart
lot
with a
harder than
zombie,
you
right?
think.
Yeah, but with a 22,
dude,
you have
in
all
the
that recoil.
zombie,
Honestly,
in the
they're
zombie-
just as accurate as a 9, though. Like a 9 really doesn't have that much more recoil than a 22.
I never shot a 9.
Hold on, we need to establish something. Do we have fast-moving zombies or slow-moving zombies?
Yeah, is this
Slow.
like World War Z or
Walking Dead zombies.
Then in Walking Dead zombies, dude, bullets are for people and melee weapons are for zombies. You don't have anything to fear from the Walking Dead zombies.
Yeah.
You just walk up to one and just push it over. Like,
What if,
Hey,
what if
anybody
your
that
axe
got-
gets lodged and stuck in a
22s
zombie
are
skull?
They tend to jam, don't they?
that's why you use the back of it,
Ah, okay.
dude. You don't waste
My
rounds on a
greatest fear is 28 Days Later zombies. Those.
Oh, dude,
World War
28
Z
days
zombies?
later zombies. Or in Dawn of the Dead zombies that are super fast running at you.
The new one, the reboot.
Yeah, dude. I'm not messing with those zombies. Those zombies you got to shoot.
Yeah.
But
I had somebody-
28
I saw.
days.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I saw a
no.
post on Facebook. Someone posted, just so you know, what's that movie with Will Smith with the zombies and the dog?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend started with the vaccine. I was like, that's some pretty good logic, buddy. That's some pretty good logic. Yeah,
Dude, you follow
You're basing your science on a fucking Will Smith movie.
you seen
Well,
the
bro,
post,
I took the COVID
what's his-
vaccine. I don't have any hair.
Yeah, man.
My mom just got it today. Actually, I've been trying.
I
to
might
get
be
it-
turning
get to
into a
appointment
dark
for her.
seeker as we speak. Dude,
Yo, Bilio.
wait, hold on.
What's the
Think about
I've been trying to
the
get
thing
this
about
out.
I Am. All right, go ahead.
What is the dude, the UFC fighter, the Beast UFC, freaking but my balls were hot.
Oh, Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis, there we
Yeah.
go. Did you see his post when it showed the clip of the first person in the vaccine?
No, wait. I think I did, but I don't remember it.
Fucking
It sounds familiar.
It shows the first person in the vaccine, and then like she's finished, and everybody's clapping. And all of a sudden, it
Oh,
cuts
I did see
scenes
that
from
one.
one of the movies, and it's just somebody's crawling up the fucking wall and onto the ceiling. They're turning
was
the head
like-
around and go. "Ah!"
It was like from one of those. It was a Kevin Costner movie, and this old lady gets all like possessed and the climbing. It's an old lady getting the
Yeah.
vaccine, and then like her 15 minutes later is her like twisting her head around, climbing up the ceiling and shit. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, dude. No, I was just gonna say about I Am Legend. I don't understand why Hollywood keeps butchering that story. The book is perfect.
It was a Richard Price movie, right? Or am I getting that name?
Richard Mathis was the author, and in it, the vampire. There's two different types of vampires: sentient vampires and feral vampires. But Robert Neville doesn't. They hinted at it in this version of the movie, and I really like Will Smith whenever he plays a burnout guy. He's the best at doing it. But in the book, he gets seduced by a vampire, and basically he gets captured by them. And the reason it's called I Am Legend is because he realizes at the end when he takes the poison that he will actually become the boogeyman for the new civilization of vampires. He's the one that hunted them in their sleep. They hinted at that, which is why he did, but they slaughter the story every time. I don't understand how you can have a brilliant story. Like, I don't understand how you can have a comic book movie and make
Because
a bad
they turned it
comic.
into an action film. That's the reason. Like it's not about the story anymore. It's about whatever is most like. That's the reason why I hate a whole bunch of superhero movies and all this shit. Where it's just like there's no story anymore. Today's movies, it's just all about fucking mindless freaking.
No, that's coming. Stories are coming back.
Like 10 years ago. Like, 'cause there's nothing to them. It's just action and, bright lights and drama.
Mhm.
But like, there's no like substance.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, listen. I mean, it's the number one. That's the easiest movie to reference, but you really think about it, The Godfather. It was not written by the director. It was a book. They took that book. They were able to freaking shorten it. They're able to make characters explain who they were as people just through certain actions without giving their background story, and still demonstrate, their personas, and just have such an effect, on the viewers. Coppola just did the best fucking job when it comes to directing that movie. And then it's just like, then today you have Zack Snyder directing fucking these Justice League movies, where it's just like they over exaggerate each character. It's just like, yo, you don't need to waste all this fucking screen time. This is a 3-hour movie that could have been a fucking hour long.
How hard is it to make a good fucking superhero movie? Like, why is Warner Brothers just like so ill-equipped?
But look at Nolan. Nolan did fucking phenomenal with all of the.
If people pay for it, they're going to give the people what they want. So it's not the movie industry. It's the people that are watching the movies.
And I don't care who you are. If you say Marvel makes fucking good movies since like Iron Man or the fucking the original Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire, like those were actually good movies. But like when you're telling me Endgame, when there's literally the quote, "Oh, he's still alive. Not if I have anything to do with it."
Those movies have pretty much replaced comedy films. Like, there hasn't been a good comedy in like 10 years. Since like I think probably 21 Jump Street was like the last good.
Yeah, 21 Jump Street was really good. The remake.
22 Jump Street is really good, but there hasn't been like comedies like Super
No
Bad
Wedding Crasher.
Yes, there hasn't been any, and like those Marvel movies have almost replaced those.
Because everybody got woke. Like you look at the way they write with their woke stuff. Okay, you want a strong female in a movie, strong female lead. Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. There's more character development in the 3-minute helicopter scene in Predator than there is in the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The only bright spot is Thor that they seem to figure out.
Yeah, the all originality in movie, like they're rebooting Mortal Kombat is coming out. It's just this like stream of reboots that just keep coming out. Oh, honorable mention, forgetting Sarah Marshall, also brilliant as well. But
that was 2000. That was 2008.
But it's just another one of the old ones. Yeah,
but the whole concept of all these reboots.
What's that?
Try making the outlaw Josie Wales today.
But at 90 years old, fucking Clint Eastwood still could make a better movie than fucking most of the directors in Hollywood today. I didn't watch The Mule. I didn't watch it. I mean, I heard the whole thing was just really suspenseful and shit. But Jesus Christ, like his later movies, like
Gran Torino is amazing.
Gran Torino, I was just literally about to say that. He did American Sniper. I didn't get to see that, but like even like in his 80s, I think he was in his 80s when he did fucking $1 Million Baby, right? Or that was late 70s or some shit. Dude, fucking come on, man. Like he's not even a good actor. Even in those movies, he's not that great of an actor, but his directing and his freaking rating just makes up for it.
All the best actors are going to shows and television, because that's where all the character development is now, and all the
Breaking Bad.
It's addictive personality. That's really what it is. Well, Breaking Bad is what changed television.
And my favorite part
changed television.
And my favorite part about it's one of the rare shows that that ended on a note that you were satisfied with.
Yes. They knew 5 seasons is all you do. They knew if you dragged it out any more than that, the show is going to turn to shit.
The end of Dexter was
watch the ratings go up till it was like Breaking Bad was the most talked about show.
But what did you think of El Camino?
I didn't watch it.
I liked it. I liked it.
It was decent. It was decent.
It wrapped Jesse's story up in a little bow.
I did like Better Call Saul. If you watched that.
Better Call Saul is really good.
It's like
I slept on that for a while because I was like, I don't know how it could be good.
It takes 2 seasons to get in.
I'm not caught up yet because I don't have cable, so I have to wait for it to get on to catch up on streaming, like on Netflix and stuff. But it's real good. Yeah.
Dude, this is the way I'll describe it. I watched it from season 1 when it first came out, when we were in USF actually. And the first 7 episodes of season 1 were slow, or the first 6. When it got to the 7th, shit just hit the fan, right? And it was like, all right. Second season comes along. It's the same fucking formula. Builds up by 7th episode. All of a sudden, it's like, oh shit, this is great. Third season, they start getting a little bit better, right? Because it's all character building. It's all the origin of all these characters in Breaking Bad, and it's just like they're all of a sudden they're introducing another fucking villain from Breaking Bad or another just character from Breaking Bad every single season. And
do they bring back Gus?
Yeah, Gus comes back in the third. I think
it's
season.
Pretty much creating the world. It's pretty much creating the world that Walter White comes into.
Yeah. And dude, it
essentially
by the 3rd season, all of a sudden it's just all action. I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd. It may be the 4th, but it's.
Are they going to bring? Are they
and
going to
the
bring
callbacks? Maybe he might be in like the last episode.
He might do
or
like
something.
a cameo.
But I'll tell you right now, man, the callbacks that they had. What made Breaking Bad so good was that was the first TV show that had movie directing and movie story writing applied to its television show. And that's literally the reason why television is so good today, is because today everybody realized, hey, we can create good television just as good as movies were, to the point where you could bring it to your home. You don't need to go to the movie theater anymore. And because of that, Hollywood's just, when it comes to the movies, it's just going down. But
AMC hit it out of the park for a while. Like Mad Men, the first few seasons were really good as well.
Mad Men, freaking Breaking Bad, all those were all out of AMC. But anyways, getting back to Better Call Saul, it has so many good callbacks to Breaking Bad and all these little Easter eggs that I stopped after season 4 or something, went back and rewatched Breaking Bad and then rewatched Better Call Saul just to see what possible things I missed. And there were so many things that I missed. If you go from watching Breaking Bad, you wait like a couple years and you watch Better Call Saul, it's decent. If you literally watch Better Call Saul right after Breaking Bad again, it makes it 10 times better.
Maybe I'll have to refresh my memory and watch Breaking Bad again and then go into Better Call Saul. Right now, I'm trying to get through season 3 of Cobra Kai.
That's a good call. I just saw the first episode of Cobra Kai.
So Cobra Kai, I watched the first season, thought it was great. I went as soon as I started the second season, I was like, nope. It had this corny feel to it, and I was like, I'm not doing it.
Johnny. I love Johnny Lawrence. He just gets drunk all the time and just says he's like that uncle that just says the most wrong stuff to you. That's why I like it.
Yeah, Brett Ernst is in that. He's Larisso's cousin.
Yeah, dude. We were talking about that out in front of Spitfire Grill Wednesday night. We're talking about how he was in it.
Yeah. Did you watch the Comedy Store documentary?
No, not yet. Dude, I went and did a set Wednesday night.
Yeah. You got Showtime, Abilia?
Wait. What are you? I didn't hear what you said.
The Comedy Store documentary.
I saw most of the episodes. The Freddie Prinze stuff is insane.
Yeah.
The Freddie Prinze Jr.
Did you guys? Yeah, did you guys know that I got to watch this documentary tomorrow? They're coming out with a documentary on Freeway Ricky Ross on Netflix. He's the dude that they suspect the CIA was selling rogue elements of the CIA, we'll say, was selling cocaine to him, and he became this crack kingpin in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name?
The rapper Rick Ross
his name?
stole Ricky Ross's name.
Yeah. I thought he had a nickname.
Who?
I don't know. Rick Ross or
Rick
like
Ross?
the actual guy.
Freeway Ricky Ross.
No,
Rick James.
yeah.
How much more of a nickname do you want him to have? Freeway is God given.
Dude, yeah, dude. I love those. I love the nicknames in the criminal underworld. It's like, dude,
Oh my god,
if you guys
Tom Segura's
Tom Segura's bit
on 48
hours. His name was Cricket.
I don't know.
I've been knowing Cricket 45 years.
all right,
Yeah.
Cricket.
What's his real name? I don't know. He's Cricket.
No, but
Yeah,
just like
right.
they're interrogating somebody that's literally about to be sentenced for murder, and they're calling them by their street name. At any time that you might want to use their full name, their legal, Christian name, they're going, Cricket. Did you or did you not kill this person?
Did you or did you not stab Dookie Shoes?
Yeah, Dookie Shoes.
Yeah, I seen it.
Dude, well, there's another example of what we were just talking about. You couldn't make 48 hours today. Not with the climate.
Oh, you definitely
filled
could. Oh, you definitely could.
The
The
climate
amount
filled with
garbage that's
perpetually
on.
offended cancel creatures.
You couldn't make The Office today.
Yeah, you couldn't make dude. Almost every show that came out 12 years ago or further, you can't make today. Like Entourage, 100%. You can't. They were talking about a reboot, and like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. There's no way that's gonna happen. Yeah, definitely The Office. The Office is just like the most like freaking. I don't know. Like, it's you watch that show and you're like, all right, this is almost mindless. It's pretty much almost anyone could watch it at that time. It's like everybody talked about it. But if that show came out today, no, it's not gonna happen.
Could
I know
you?
Michael Scott did very offensive things.
But that was the humor in it. Was just like the freaking his ignorance,
Well, dude.
That's not funny.
Sorry, man.
Dude, you couldn't make.
What do I know?
Blazing
What do I know?
Saddles.
I mean, I'm stuck back in the Saved by the Bell days, obviously.
Could you imagine if Blazing Saddles came out today?
Oh my God. Yeah, that could. But that's the thing. It's a parody, and that's what people, like. It's a parody on the ignorance of racism, but you couldn't.
All in the Family was completely against racism. That was the entire point of the Archie Bunker character.
Yeah, the Jefferson
Well,
show came from that show. It was
Did you see the live performance they did on ABC? Jimmy Kimmel produced it. They did the live episode of the Archie Bunker whatever
All in the
it called. All in the Family. They did a live version. Woody Harrelson played Archie Bunker. I think Marissa Tomei played the wife. It was
dude, she's so
brilliant,
hot.
and they did it live. So good.
Marissa Tomei is so hot. Dude.
I
My
just
cousin-
rewatched Seinfeld. The episode
My-
where
my-
George.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
because my cousin Vinny, Marissa Tomei, just with that fucking hard New York City accent is so goddamn sexy.
My father was
That's
a
a good
mechanic. My brother was a mechanic.
Right?
My uncle was a mechanic.
Oh my
I'll
God.
give you another
Pause-
movie. I'll give
pause
you
and
another
trench.
movie.
But
I'll give you
Go ahead,
another
go ahead.
movie you could make today. Soul Man. Do you remember that movie? With C. Thomas
where he
Howell?
takes the pills to make him black, to make him so black. Yeah, that you could
oh
do
my
today.
god,
That you could to get a scholarship, right?
what
Yeah,
about
he-
white chicks? Can you do that today?
I'd laugh my ass off at that.
Wait, you say white
But
chicks
Yeah,
with Terry
they did
Crews?
whiteface.
Soul-
They did whiteface.
Soul Man pretends to be an African American in blackface in the 1980s, and still somehow that hasn't been canceled. I don't think it should be, but
He just pretty much did
What's
what
Bill Burr's bit about John Wayne getting canceled today, and he's like, he's already
Dude, I had that.
yeah, and that's
Life
the ultimate
canceled him.
cancellation.
He was canceled. He's dead.
It's like it was, dude. I had something written down in my stand-up stuff to work on, and it was the controversy about John Wayne being racist, and I was like, he was born in 1909. That doesn't exactly scream inclusion. And then Bill Burr did it, so I can't do the bit, but he's 100% right. He's like, yeah, people.
All right, guys, we're up to four viewers right now. It's the all-time high of the evening.
Where do you see viewers here?
All-time high of history.
and one of them's my wife.
She's flying on you, making sure there's no girls in the audience, you know?
I thought these guys were going to talk about stocks, and they're talking about soulmate.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, Chris.
Guys, I'm tired. I'm gonna end.
Is that why you're quiet?
Stream, but y'all can still talk if you want.
No, I'm gonna bow out as well because I gotta be up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, we'll call it, man. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Sorry for that last viewer that just joined.
Yeah, right.
Please
come next time. Come next Saturday.
Every Saturday, 9:00.
Guys, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is fun.
You want to come back?
Come on again, man. Whenever.
Yeah,
we're gonna
absolutely.
We're gonna. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have a dude on who we were communicating with about Tesla bubble and how this dude said that he went actually through the balance sheet and he was like, "No."
What? What
is not? It is a bubble or not a bubble?
No, it's a bubble. It's a complete bubble.
Yeah, that's what I so the thing with Tesla right now, I almost see Elon Musk, and comes from a person who, was a big Elon Musk fan, but I'm almost like getting the feeling like an Enron-y kind of feeling right now, from the whole thing. Maybe it's not him doing it, maybe because it is like investor confidence, like pushing the price up. I feel like because it is an overvalued stock. I think you guys all would agree on that.
It's undervalued.
You think it's undervalued?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, I was like, holy shit. So it's definitely a bubble.
I don't think you were in here when I said it. Here's how I know it's irrational exuberance. People are getting emotional when I point out that it's overvalued, even if you think Tesla is the company of the future. Currently, when you're paying for it, it's something. I read this article recently where the guy said at their current sales rate, you would have to hold the stock for 1,300 years to get your money out.
That's a good deal.
I mean, it has. It's a quick time. You got to realize though, we do have anti-aging coming soon, so maybe it's a good buy.
But what happens with all those tranche bonuses that that Elon gets if the price just crashes? Insane. Because a lot of those tranches, did he actually buy them out? Because it was not like he got all that money. He basically has the availability to buy
I don't know how
those shares at. So essentially what happened was the Tesla put aside all these shares worth, if he hits their marks, it's worth an X amount of money, a huge amount of money. Now if they hit those marks, those get released to him, but he still has to buy them at an agreed price that was set, which is a lot lower than, it's pretty much like, just for the sense of scale, we agreed 10 cents. If it reaches $50, you still have to pay 10 cents per share. I'm just saying, but was he liquid enough to purchase all the shares?
He probably could very quickly,
That's what I'm saying. And he got them so quick, one tranche right after another. So if it crashes and he hasn't actually bought those stocks yet, I think it's kind of weird and like iffy that, it's part of his net worth, even though, and if that's the case where he's not the guy's not even liquid enough to take.
I don't
get the shares.
I don't personally get an Enron feel that there's like accounting fraud. I mean, that
No,
could
I'm
be
sorry.
the case.
I meant like not as bad as Enron, but a tiny bit of shadiness.
It's not the company; it's the investors. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's a whole bunch of bro investment going on this year too. You know, I feel like that's
Totally. My brother's a chef, and he just went like hog tail into like investing and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
watch.
it's like, slow down, buddy.
With this next stimmy check, I think Tesla share price is going to rise again. Because, I got my $1,400. I'm going to buy Tesla. And it's like, you know what? I'm satisfied with you calling me a moron for not buying Tesla at 800 and whatever dollars a share it is right now.
100 PE is a good deal. Okay? It's a great deal. You
214.
My buddy in 2008, my buddy told me about this thing that he just heard about that his buddy was mining called Bitcoin. And I was like, okay. It was like pennies back then. And to this day, I kick myself for not like,
Bro,
Yeah.
I almost put it
Tesla right now. They are two totally different things.
No, I know two totally different things, but I'm talking about missed opportunity. I'm just,
But you don't know what you're missing. I mean, it's impossible to tell.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that was my whole motto this year was just like there was a lot of shit in the past, like whether it was Bitcoin, whether it was when AMD was fucking $2.40. Right now it's 90 something dollars. But like all these things that I just knew, I should probably like do something with this. And I didn't because I get so caught up on almost like analysis paralysis where it's just like, should I use E-Trade? Should I use Ameritrade? Should I use fucking Merrill Lynch or all these different platforms? And I was comparing which one is the best one. And
just buy BT. That's all you got to do.
But that was the problem. I just freaking did not commit and just pick a platform and just say, hell, I'm going to put $100 into this or what, even if I just put $100 into AMD at that time, it would have been.
You're referring to Vanguard, right? When you say that, VT?
Yeah, Vanguard Total World.
Vanguard Total World Stock Market ETF.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even when I was in college, I heard over and over again from my accounting professor, if you put $400 away a month and if the stock market grows on average 11%, like it really has since, the Great Depression, then by the time you retire, it's like 9. Yeah, it's like 9 to 12.
But about 8 after inflation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're
100% with those numbers, you'll have like $2 million or something in retirement. And if you started at 30 or some shit like that. And it's like I knew that and I still just didn't do anything. When this year came around, I was just like, you know what? I need to start fucking making some changes and going ahead and invest in shit. Like,
look, you're really gonna win when the next stock market crash happens, which it's gonna happen. And once it happens,
where's the billion
buying, and you're good.
That was his way of saying bye.
Oh,
yeah, we
I'm joking. He may have hung up by accident, but yeah, no, like for real, like you're saying, yeah, it just got to take. Oh, there he is.
I clicked something I shouldn't have.
All right, well,
Pornhub.
Out the stream.
But guys, have a nice night.
Yeah, I'm gonna bow out too because I got to take another piss. But yeah,
right,
I like any time that we want to do. Like Chris and I are gonna do this on Saturdays, but anytime you guys want in.
Yeah, absolutely.
$100 you can come back on.
What's that?
If you give me $100, you can come back on.
I thought
$100 in crypto.
Yeah, Litecoin, bro.
Gentlemen.
All right, guys.
Gentlemen.
Peace out.
All right.
Nice.
Bye-bye.
See it.
See it.
See it.
See ya.